the beginning, they taught you what love was supposed to look like. Be good, be quiet, be easy, and maybe someone will love you. But the love they promised was always out of reach, always tied to your performance, always conditional. So you chased, you bent. You broke yourself into smaller pieces just to be worthy of something that was never real to begin with. They didn't teach you how to receive love. They taught you how to earn it. Smile when you're sad. Say yes when you want to scream no, be needed, be useful, but never need anything yourself. So you learned early, love isn't given, it's chased. And if you're not getting it, you must not be trying hard enough. It wasn't your fault. You were programmed. Programmed to believe love lives on the other side of self-abandonment. That the more you gave up your truth, the closer you'd get to being loved. But the truth is, they never planned to give it. You thought you were chasing love, but what you were really chasing was validation, a sense of worth, a feeling that you mattered, that if you gave enough, pleased enough, stayed small enough, you'd finally be seen. But every time you got close, the finish line moved, the goalpost shifted, and you told yourself to try harder, to love more, to want less. They trained you to overextend and call it loyalty, to ignore red flags and call it compassion. But deep down, you knew something was off. Because no matter how much you gave, love never stayed. You kept showing up, kept giving, kept believing that if you just loved harder, they'd finally choose you. But they didn't want your heart. They wanted your silence, your compliance, your willingness to disappear so they could feel bigger. And the worst part? You blamed yourself. You thought you weren't enough. That maybe if you were just a little more patient, a little more forgiving, they'd stay. But this wasn't love. It was programming. A system designed to keep you chasing instead of receiving. Working for connection instead of believing you deserved it. Real love doesn't require you to shrink. It doesn't punish you for having needs. It doesn't ask you to perform just to be worthy. But they never taught you that. Because if you believed you were already enough, you'd stop chasing. You'd stop begging. You'd stop settling for crumbs and calling it a feast. The truth is, you weren't unlovable. You were conditioned to seek love from places that were never built to give it. And now, you're finally starting to ask the question they never wanted you to ask. What if love isn't something I earn? What if it's something I already deserve? You stopped asking, what do I need to fix in me so they'll love me? And started asking, why am I drawn to people who make me feel broken? That's when everything changed. Because healing isn't about becoming more lovable. It's about unlearning the lie that you had to earn love in the first place. You began to see the pattern. How every almost love felt like home only because dysfunction felt familiar. But familiarity isn't love. It's repetition. It's programming. And now, you're finally rewriting the code. You're not chasing anymore, you're choosing. You're choosing people who meet you with presence, not promises. Who see you without needing you to prove yourself first. Who love without making you beg for it. You've stopped romanticizing emotional starvation. Stopped calling inconsistency passion. Stopped confusing chaos with connection. Because now you know, real love doesn't trigger your wounds. It helps you heal them. You're not hard to love. You were just conditioned to seek love in places that required you to lose yourself to earn it. And now, you're done paying that price. You used to think love was something someone else had to give you, that you had to earn it, wait for it, suffer for it. But now you see, the love you were searching for was never out there. It was the love you kept withholding from yourself. Every time you ignored your own needs, every time you stayed too long, every time you begged for bare minimum, you told your soul, "This is all I'm worth." But not anymore. Now you speak your needs. You listen to your gut. You walk away when love looks like pain and sounds like control. You're not chasing love anymore. You're choosing wholeness. You're not afraid to receive anymore. Not because you don't remember the pain, but because now you remember your worth. You no longer flinch at kindness. You no longer doubt consistency. You no longer sabotage real love because you think it's too good to be true. Because now you know you don't have to bleed to be worthy of care. You don't have to suffer to feel seen. Love isn't meant to be a test. It's meant to be a home. And when you finally stop chasing, you give love the chance to find you in your truth, not your performance. You used to think love made you weak, that needing someone meant losing control. But that was never love. That was dependence, born from emptiness, not connection. Now you know better. Now you see that real love doesn't weaken you. It grounds you. It doesn't blur your boundaries. It respects them. You no longer fear closeness because you've stopped fearing yourself. You've stopped running from your own heart. This isn't desperation, this is wholeness. And when love meets you there, at your center, not your wounds, it becomes a force, not a leash. You're not waiting anymore, not for a text, not for approval, not for someone to choose you so you can finally feel complete. You've stopped building your worth on someone else's affection, stopped confusing attention with love, stopped settling for almost. Because now you know you were never hard to love. You were just pouring your heart into people who were never full themselves. You've become your own source. And that shift, that's freedom. Because the moment you stopped chasing love, you started embodying it. This is the moment you break the pattern, the programming, the chase. You no longer live your life hoping to be chosen. You choose yourself, every day, without waiting for permission. You don't settle for half love. You don't twist yourself to fit someone else's version of enough. You don't run after what was never meant to stay. Because now you know the truth. Real love doesn't make you chase it. It meets you where you are, when you're honest, when you're whole, when you've stopped running. You were programmed to chase love you'd never receive. But now, you've reprogrammed yourself to be the love you always deserved.